Vanakkam, Adam. Hello everyone. Welcome to the YouTube channel Learning Tree. I'm Yadevitya here to explain you an interesting topic that is biology. Today I'm going to explain a class 9 topic cell, its structure and functions. So without any let, let's get into the video. Cell, its structure and functions. Actually, what is meant by cell? It is nothing but a basic building blocks for all kinds of living things. Okay, for better understanding, let's take an example. Suppose if you see an ocean, it is such a huge body. Each drop together make a mighty ocean. In the same manner, cells together make up the life on the earth. Cell is also known as structural and functional unit of life. Now, where does these all cells come from? This is the question in your mind, right? Okay, let me explain to you. The first cells were observed in cork tree by Robert Hooke in 1600s, and soon after him there is a microscopist named Van Leeuwenhoek observed many other living organisms having cells, and in the early 1800s Swan and Schleiden theorized the cell theory. It says that all the living organisms are composed of cells and product of cells, but they did not explain how the new cells were formed. At that time, there came a man known as Rudolf Carl Virchow in 1855. He explained that the new cells could be formed only by the division of pre-existing cells. From the above scientist works, the cell theory now is based on two cardinal principles. The first one, all living organisms are composed of cells and product of cells. And the number two, all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Now, let us study the different parts of plant and animal cells. Before that, I want to give you some information about typical cell. A typical cell is a model of cell where all the organelles are shown, maybe of plant or animal. All the organelles shown in the typical plant cell or animal cell will not exist in the every cell. For example, chloroplast are shown in typical plant cell, but all plant cells do not have chloroplast. This is one example to say that. Now, let us check out some important cell organelles of a cell. The first and foremost is the nucleus. You might have observed the dark portion in a cell. That is nothing but nucleus. It was named by Robert Brown in year 1831. The nucleus regulates and controls all the functional and structural units of a cell, and it also stores the cell's hereditary material or DNA. Nucleus has the nuclear membrane that encloses its contents from the cytoplasm. It also has a nucleoplasm which is similar to the cytoplasm in a cell. On the basis of the presence or absence of the organized nucleus, cells are divided into two. The first one, prokaryotic cell. The cells without organized nucleus or nuclear membrane. For example, bacteria, cyanobacteria, etc. And the second one, eukaryotic cell. The cells that has organized nucleus or nuclear membrane. For example, fungi, plants, etc. Let's know some points about cytoplasm. You observe that there is a portion of fluid content in a cell that is known as cytoplasm. All the cell organelles are situated in the cytoplasm of a cell. Cytoplasm helps in carrying of information or signals within a cell. Now, coming to the second one, cell membrane. The cell membrane is the outermost layer of the cell that separates cell from external environment. The membrane defines shape and size of the cell. Any substance want to enter or leave the cell can only do through the membrane and it does not allow all the materials to get in. Only it allows some selective materials. Hence, it is also known as selectively permeable membrane or plasma membrane. The cell membrane is present in both the plant and animal cell. But in animal cell, this is the outermost layer. But in plant cell, there is a one more layer which we are going to discuss about. Now, coming to the third one, that is cell wall. Name itself is there, right? Wall. While the cell membrane acts as the outermost layer of the animal cell, but in plant cell, there is one more layer, that is cell wall. Cell wall is a tough but flexible porous layer that gives or lends shape and protection to the plant cell. It exerts an inward pressure to resist the outward pressure exerted by the cell sap. Hence, plant can withstand from external environment. Coming to the fourth organelle, mitochondria. You might be getting a doubt that where does this cell get energy to perform all these activities? That is where mitochondria come into effect. It is known as powerhouse of the cell. These are spherical and small size organelles. There are about 100 to 150 mitochondria in a cell. It has inner membrane as well as outer membrane. The inner membrane forms folds called as cristae, and space between those folds are known as matrix. Mitochondria is responsible for cellular respiration, where cell get energy to do work. Coming to the fifth one, that is plastids. Actually, plastids are of three types. First one, chromoplast, which is colored, and the second one, leucoplast, which is colorless, and the third one, chloroplast, which is green colored. Now, let's discuss about chloroplast. Chloroplast primary function was to trap energy from sunlight and transform it to the chemical energy. These are found in many shapes. For example, in algae, ladder, stars, so on, etc. There may be 50 to 200 chloroplasts in a cell. Point to be noted that we don't have any chloroplasts in animals. Now, coming to the sixth organelle, that is ribosomes. These are small granule-like structures in cytoplasm of a cell. These are of two types. The first one, free ribosomes, which scatter in the cytoplasm, and the second one, attached ribosomes, that is, they are attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. Ribosomes are site of protein manufacture. It means that it synthesizes proteins. Now, the seventh one, endoplasmic reticulum. We observe the network of passages in the cytoplasm for transport of substances. This is known as endoplasmic reticulum. It is of two types based on location of ribosomes. The first one, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, that is, areas or sections that does not have ribosomes. And the second one, rough endoplasmic reticulum, areas or sections that has ribosomes. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is site of protein manufacture, and smooth endoplasmic reticulum is site for manufacture of fat molecules, that is fat and some sort of lipids. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum plays a major role in detoxifying many poisonous gases or substances and drugs. Coming to the eighth one, that is Golgi apparatus. Actually, it was first observed by Camillo Golgi in year 1898. In honor of him, the name is given as Golgi complex, or also known as Golgi body. This organelle is made up of sac-like structures around which many fluid-filled vesicles abound, means surround. The proteins and other substances reach Golgi complex through vesicles. The function of Golgi complex or Golgi body is to pack the materials before it is transported, and even sometimes these packed proteins are even sent to the cell membrane, which helps in the repair of the cell membrane. Now, coming to the ninth organelle, that is lysosome. These are also known as suicidal bags of the cell because lysosome contains digestive enzymes. When any material is to be destroyed, it is sent to the lysosome in a cell, and the lysosome bursts and destructive enzymes come out and destroy the material. This is sent out of the cell membrane of cell through exocytosis. Now, coming to the last organelle but not least, that is vacuole. These are large empty spaces filled with fluid. In animal cells, vacuoles are small and in mature plants it is very large, that is occupies almost all this space. Vacuoles maintain turbo pressure within the cell and helps to withstand from external environment. Now we got some idea about all the cell organelles in a cell. Now let us know one more question, that is, are cells flat or they are three-dimensional? Let us know. As cells are very tiny, we observe them in the microscope. As the image appears as two-dimensional, we think that the cells are flat. In reality, cells do have length, breadth and thickness. However, this method helps you to find three-dimensional image of a cell. All you need to do is slightly change the focus while observing cell on a slide and look at the cell membrane to see the thickness of the cell membrane. Here we can also see the three-dimensional image by reducing the intensity of light as well. So it is proved that the cells are three-dimensional. Summarizing the topic, there are some points to be noted. The first one, cell is the structural and functional unit of life. And the second one, all living organisms are made up of cells. And the third one, new cells are formed from the pre-existing cells. Fourth one, mitochondria is known as powerhouse of the cell. And fifth one, plasma membrane is also known as selectively permeable membrane. Sixth one, nucleus regulates and controls all functions of the cell. My dear friends, thank you for watching this video. Hope you people like this video. Any doubts, please do comment in the comment section and let me know your doubts. To support us guys and meet you people in the next video. Thank you for watching.